could be with anyone, you're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
Hey, welcome to the show. This is the Thursday night SpeakPipe show where you guys get to call in and leave your messages. Now, this is in hand with the call-in show that we normally run, as well as the free chat that we have where you guys can leave your opinions down below in the comment section. If you want to see the rewatch, they will always be made available on the other channel, which is My Take on Reality Live, and you have every opportunity to do the rewatches. Thank you so much. Thanks, Lizzie B. Said that. Welcome, Lizzie B. What's going on? Let me know that I'm live, loud and clear. Awesomeness. Welcome to the chat. All right. What is this? The Tumblr Ridge victims? What is that? Oh wow. Oh wow. The Tumblr Ridge victims are there was a mass firearm event in Canada. Wow. That's so weird. Like, I don't know. At least, like here, like in America, it's so normalized anymore. Like we've had pew pews like 2-3 in a week, and they don't even really make the news anymore. But in Canada, like you don't really hear about it in other countries, so it's a little off-putting, a little shocking. So wow. So let's put some hearts in the chat for the Tumblr Ridge community, family and friends who were affected by it. That's just something we do to acknowledge people's struggles, pain, and suffering. Yeah. So put some hearts in the chat for those folks. I also want to get some hearts in the chat for some people in our group as well. Megatron. It's been a rough first part of the year for old Megatron. So let's give thoughts and prayers to her and her family. Jody Periscala, Carmel Cuties, Miss Betty, Kathy Ferran, Allison Gaines, and Marlo Peterson. All right. Yeah, it's we talk a lot about like the Brown family and the sister wives stuff, but it's always important to remember that people are real people. They have a lot of things going on, and it's not just the Browns. We have to sit and worry about what they have going on and how things are affecting them, but we also got to worry about each other, because we're the real people that they talk about when they say real people. There's real people that we are the real people. So there are people behind the keyboards. There are people who have lives behind the keyboard, and those lives are sometimes affected by things that are outside their power and control. So we just want to support them as best we can. All right. Yeah, we have some speak pipes for sure. I wanted to take a moment because last time I was on, last Tuesday, like I said, it came to my attention. I didn't have a chance to really get into it with Mary and Jen's announcement or pronouncement on their salty birches special messages or whatever. Like they took to the social media webs, the interwebs, and were leaving messages. regarding Janelle. And there's a couple points that I wanted to make. Oh, Carolina, all right. Happy birthday. There's some points I wanted to make. First point, and I might condense this into a video, but first point, I agree with the premise of Mary's comment, Mary and Jen's comment, in the sense that, nothing we see on these shows should rise to the level of us going out actively threatening physical harm or pressing them in any kind of way, right? Not for real, because you're entitled to your opinion. Like, hands down, I don't give a shit. You're entitled to your opinion, right? Especially when people put their lives out for you to make an opinion on. Like, if you present your life as a subject, you can't be angry that people talk about it and they have an opinion. Their opinion might be to support you and like you. Their opinion might be to dislike you. That's, everybody is entitled to their opinion. But that's kind of where it stops. Like, you have a right to your opinion, but you don't have a right to make people feel unsafe. You don't have a right to call people up and threaten people or send messages that, you're going to do physical harm to them or whatever the case may be. That's disturbing. It's over identifying with other people's problems and issues. The reality of it is that as much as you may love the Brown family, the sister wives, OG3, or their kids, and support them, at the end of the day, they have to live their lives. You have to live your life. So that shit is important. And I say that because, life is a precious thing. Life is a precious thing. And the last thing you want to do is waste your life in a cage for a stranger who has nothing to do with you. And at the end of the day, if you go to war for Mary, oh, y'all, I don't like Janelle. I don't like how you was treating Mary with the backdoor dog. I don't like that, Janelle. I'm going to run up in your face. And you run up on Janelle and things go sideways, Mary's going to be testifying at your trial against you. I understand that shit. Like, you will be going to prison by yourself, all alone, for nothing. And these people cannot be that important to you. They can't be so important to you that you're willing to go to jail and throw your life away because these millionaires are uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Straight up. So I just say that, like, we can disagree with how people came into the family. We could disagree with and it's not even so much, I don't like how you came into the family. What it is what you presented from the very beginning. And I want to be very clear about this. What I disagree with, or what I cite when we talk about how folks came into the family, how folks presented themselves, how Janelle may have misstepped in the beginning when she came to marry this married woman. She's married to Mary's brother. She come to Mary and talk about, yeah, I want to break one off on your husband, and I want my kids to look like him and be built like him. Like, that shit is, I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care about like that state culture. I don't give a shit about that. Like, because at the end of the day, right is right, wrong is wrong. Like, we can sit here all day and talk about, well, according to the culture, that's how they do shit. That's how they do shit. So I guess marriage doesn't mean anything. So if she's married to her husband and she looks at another man and say, I want to bang the shit out of that dude who is not my husband, you're telling me, and according to their culture, that's okay. That is wrong. That is wrong. That's just you making an excuse. In their culture, marriage is a sacrament. It's so important that you have to take additional wives and multiply that sacrament. That's how important it is. So so again, it's not commiserate with the fact that you're saying that, this is how we are and this is how our culture sees things, and then you demonstrate the exact opposite or contradictory position to that. And then get mad because people call you out on it. Now, if Janelle is hurt because people are not supporting everything she does, people are not you know, oh, that's okay, Janelle. It's fine. Like if people aren't doing that, that's not like the book that I want to do for book club. Like conflict is not abuse. Like disagreeing with people is not abuse. Having an opinion about somebody, calling right and wrong is not abuse. If I cite you for doing something wrong, that makes you better. How many times have we sat on this show or any show, my show, Sarah's show, Amanda's show, Crystal's show, or Katie Joy's show, whoever's show, Pop Psych show, and said that wouldn't it be beneficial for Cody to surround himself with men who will call him on his shit and say, sir, you're doing the wrong thing. Sir, you need to man the fuck up and start treating these women better. Sir, you need to pick up the phone and call your kids because your kids need you and they want to talk to you. How many times have we said that? But then when it comes to somebody whom, like one of the OG3s, all of a sudden we supposed to turn a blind eye to it and not call them on their shit. I keep mine consistent. So at least for me, I will say this, whether it's, the OG3, whether it's Cody and Robin, whether it's me, there are no kings and queens on this show. This is the No Kings and Queens show. Everybody can get it. That's why I have multiple avenues and multiple ways for you to be able to cite your opinion on what I say. If you disagree with me or something I say, I invite you, I encourage you to contact me through the call-in show. Leave a SpeakPipe message. Say something in the comment section. I have zero problem with that. Because I don't think that my opinion is absolute. And how I see the world is how the world functions and works. I am not so haughty, not so prideful that I think that this is everything that, the way I figured things out or the way things have to be. But at the same time, if I see something and I think that it's wrong, I'm going to say that I think it's wrong and I will back it up. I'm not just going to sit here and say, oh, Cody bad, Robin bad, Mary good, Christine good, Janelle good, and leave it at that. We got to put shit into context. And here's the problem. In most cases, when I hear the complaint about how we don't know them because of dirty editing or we don't get the whole story or whatever the case may be. Here's the thing. If you don't like how you're being presented, and this is just me being straight up, if you don't like how you're being presented, you have options. Let me say that one more again. Mary, Christine, Janelle, Cody, Robin. If you don't like how you're being presented on this show, you think the show is doing you an injustice by presenting you the wrong way, or they're not filling in the context, that, my dearies, is what the tell-all is for. That's what the tell-all is for. You go back and you say, look, you guys saw this one part of it, but what you don't understand is X, Y, Z. What you didn't see is 1, 2, 3. You caught part 5. That's what the tell-all is for. It's not for you to sit there and try to ignore, evade, and not answer questions. It's there for you to be able to clear shit up, to make it clear. And here's my thing. You could either do the tell-all. You guys are very good about doing interviews. Some of you have social media sites where you get on and you do chats and lives and all that other shit, and you pontificate and talk about your stuff. You could do it there. Then of course there's the parachute exit where you just pull the cord and just bail out of the show. Stop doing the show. Or ultimately it comes down to basically this. If you disagree with the things that people are putting out, you think that we have it wrong, and you choose not to say anything, too damn bad. I have zero pity for that shit. You guys got it wrong because you connecting dots all crazy. And then half the time, at least on my show, like if you could point to me, any one of you cast members can point to me in something I said or an assessment I made where I was wrong, I'll admit it. If you could point it out. 9 times out of 10, though, one of my frustrations, if I'm going to keep it all the way above, one of my frustrations with the show is honestly that a lot of the shit that you guys talked about in season 20 is stuff that I had talked about 5-6 seasons ago when I first started covering the show. All the predictions and the stuff that y'all, oh, you got it wrong. All that shit is stuff that I said, and then you come back in season 20 and big reveal. Everything they said is right. Oh, you guys hold on to your socks, y'all. Cody trying to steal the land from me. Oh my goodness. James said that back in season 16 when you guys was talking about the land. Said Cody and Robin's trying to get y'all for that shit. Everybody got their own truth. No, everybody doesn't have their own truth. Everybody has their own perspective. The truth is the truth. And I know in our society and our culture, we have this thing where we sit there and pretend like everybody's got their own individual personal ass truth. That's not true. You have a perspective. Now, if you want to argue that in their perspective, you know, they experience things different, okay, fine, that's fine, whatever. But the truth is the truth. What's the end result? The end result is when Cody and them tried to get you for the land and got you still kicking in money for land that you guys bought, and he still owes you money, and then you say that we just don't understand what's going on. Either he owes you money and you still kicked in for a Coyote Pass, and he tried to screw you on Coyote Pass because your name wasn't legally on the documents, and he was dead ass about it when he said it on TV. I don't give a shit what the edit was. That's what he said out of his own mouth, that by the grace of Cody and Robin, they gave Mary money. Then you're going to tell us that it's by his perspective. We only caught like a little part of that conversation. That's all the part of the conversation I need to catch. Sorry, not sorry. That is one of my I guess maybe that hit me the wrong way, because that is one of my personal pet peeves. Like when you have, like, especially with kids, like if you have my kids were actually pretty good, but I have seen where kids, like little cousins and shit, they'll try to put things into they'll do something, and then when they talking to their parents about what they've done, if their parents can't detail every little bit of aspect and everything that possibly happened in every conversation and comment, if they can't detail it 1 through 10 perfectly, if they get one thing wrong, or if there was like one misconception or one part of the thing is misunderstood, then somehow everything that they assess is wrong. And nowhere in life does shit work that way. Sorry, not sorry. Let me be the first to tell y'all, in case you didn't know. Nowhere in life does that shit work that way. I don't need to hear 5 hours, especially when you guys do. Well, it's only like one little ass bit of the conversation. Let's be honest. Half the time, you guys give rambling ass answers to stuff that's very straightforward because you're not trying to answer questions, and you're trying to hide information. So you give rambling ass answers. So if anything, the edit might seem dirty because they didn't give you a 3-hour answer to a yes or no question. But the reason they edited the way they did is because you basically repeated yourself consistently over the course of that 3 hours. So they just gave the best answer that you had and rolled with that for the sake of time. That's not a dirty edit. A dirty edit or a bad edit would be, you said what a bad edit is essentially what they do for their upcoming shows. where they take like a quotation, "I'm a horrible person," and they run that as the ad, and then you find like the full context of the show. It's like, if I did that, I would be a horrible person. If I agreed to do that, I'm a horrible person. I would never do that. That's the full context. That's what you're alleging. And if you're alleging that, then like I said, if you're alleging that, then what you need to do is you need to straighten it up and clear it up on your time, on your streams, or you need to straighten it up during the tell-all. And there's also the point too, where I recognize that you guys are making a shit ton of money doing Sister Wives. I recognize that you're making a ton of money doing it. But at what cost are you willing to sell the safety of your family and your friends and yourself? You saying it? People like Mary and Jen said that at one point they got up, they did a cooking show, and people were so agitated. She did a cooking show at the same time Christine was doing a cooking show, and and they called Mary up and threatened to kill her over a damn cooking show. You know what? It's time to come off the show. At that point, it's time to come off the damn show. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just, I don't know. Because what I noticed with these guys, and this is the part that kind of bothers me. I'm reading through this damn Jackie Overton book / Sam Jacob Cooper, the Catfish book. That book is some bullshit. I will never recommend that book for somebody to read. I will never recommend that book for somebody to read. I'm going to go over it, but please don't buy that book. Please don't buy that damn book. Straight up. The book is complete bullshit. That book is bullshit. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm gonna give you the Cliff Notes. That book is bullshit. The stuff that Jackie Overton is saying, makes zero sense. I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna talk about it because it, to me, like I said, you can glean a lot from reading what people say and what people find important, things that they highlight. You can find out a lot about how they work, by what they write down, what they highlight, what they choose to talk about. You can find out a lot. And I'm telling you, like, she pulled back the curtain on that damn book. That book is like, what the shit? Mary, you was in trouble. Not because she's a catfish. You in trouble because she is crazy. Okay? She's a Looney Tune. Like, this is nuts. There's also a point, too, where she wrote the book. Jackie Overton wrote the book as Sam Cooper, her made-up personality. And I don't want to be an asshole, but look, I know there's been a time, no matter what demographic you're in or what group you reflect or whatever the case may be, and there's always a point where you'll watch a movie, a play, or a television show, listen to a song, whatever, and it's supposed to be in the voice of one particular person, but you recognize by being a part of that group, or even having friends or associates who are part of that group, you recognize that that is not the voice of somebody from that group. And I'm saying that the way she wrote that book is not the way most men think, nor do they express themselves. And a lot of the stuff that she was saying with regard to how she was meeting and talking and discussing with Mary is just not how people do shit. Now, Jackie Overton does not have the benefit of saying that, oh, well, I was naive because I grew up in this cult ass situation, because she did not. She just doesn't have any experience. Like, to be honest with you, Jackie Overton tried to write that book as a man, but I hazard to guess that she doesn't even have any male friends because of the way she wrote the book and the voice that she used when she wrote the book. It would be like if I tried to write the story of uh of a upper class white woman. Like it just wouldn't make sense. Like I could write what I think, right? How I think that they act and how I think they respond and stuff. And maybe I would get some notes correct, but there are key things that I would be missing in my conversation and my discussion that it would be apparent to anybody who is a part of that group would recognize like this is not real. This is not the one, right? And that's what I'm saying about this book. Yeah, this book is just it's just it reads like a it reads like a middle school, like somebody like a little girl in middle school writing love letters. It's terrible. Like she's trying her best to write a love on them romance novels, with the guy, big herked up dude on the cover, and they got the lady there, going with the witches. You know, I'm saying it's just that book is terrible. Like it is not. I'm not even looking at like I'm so past like just the grammatical errors, the spelling errors. I'm not even like looking at it from that respect. I'm just looking at the basic ideas of the book. And I'm glad on one end that I'm reading a book and I'm going to be able to expose some of this stuff because again, I think that so much focus has been placed on Mary's shoulders with regard to what she did that nobody is really focusing on this this joke ass dude, supposedly joke ass dude Sam Cooper. You know what I mean? Because if this is a dude for real, call me up. You sucker ass, call me up anytime. I will put you on. If you want to go live, we go live. If you want to do a recording session, we can do a recording session. My only requirements, hustler, is that one, there no filters, no filters. Like I don't care about like the background shit, but no filters, and you have to have your face on the camera. Especially, and I stand on this shit, especially because if you're bold enough, brave enough, and open enough to talk about your sex life with this woman and the private, intimate moments you had with this woman, then you should be bold enough to put your face on the damn camera. Those are my only two requirements. And we can talk all day. All day. You know what I mean? But don't call like Jackie Overton. Do not call me with some bullshit. This is Lindsay, Sam's friend. I don't want to talk to none of Sam's fucking friends. I don't want to talk to none of his little buddies or sidekicks. I want to talk to Sam. And I want Sam's picture on not his picture, not even a picture. I want Sam to get a camera. You got phones and shit. Technology now is widely available, especially to a guy who's supposedly a millionaire. And you do business meetings, my man. You tell him you can't afford a webcam, and you supposed to be doing meetings. People don't even do meetings. Like, look, man, ain't nobody new. People don't. Jackie, let me tell you something. In corporate America, people haven't done in-person meetings in almost a decade, 2 decades. I got a meeting. You get on you get on Zoom, you get on anything so that you don't have to leave the office. Even telecalls, like give me a break, man. Nobody's doing meetings like that. So there's no reason why this person and I don't want to put the story out like he's trying to protect somebody. Like we'll get into it. We'll get into it. That book is the bullshit. Do not. I'm saying, like I'm not even saying I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, don't buy that book and say James was talking about this book, so I'm gonna go out and buy this book. Do not do that shit. That is not what I'm saying. This book is the bullshit. It's not true. There's nothing really true about this book. There might be grains of truth which lead to which lay a foundation that's built on like a bunch of fucking lies. This book is ridiculous. It's sad. It's actually sad and kind of pathetic. If it wasn't as damaging as it was, this book I would actually call this book a cry for help. Let me see. We got some super chats. See, we got Jody Periscala with the $4.99 super chat. The internet is forever. I found an archived blog of Jackie with all the details. Yeah. And that's the thing too. A lot of the stuff that Jackie Overton put out did not age well. Most of it just comes off like a person who was rejected and they can't let go. Like it just comes off like a disgruntled lover, former lover. You know, she's just mad because Mary moved on. And she's pissed about it. So she writes a book. And we'll get into it. Yeah. But thank you, Jody. Then we have Jody Periscala with the $4.99 super chat. Do you believe me now? How the book would hurt Mary and embarrass her more? No, actually, I don't. I think the book actually vindicates Mary a lot. Like, as crazy as that is, this is the shit I'm talking about. Like, by them trying to, like, Mary trying to hide who this Sam Cooper person is, by her trying to sweep the shit under the rug, it only made it worse. It only made it worse. If people actually would have came out and they would have really delved into this Sam Cooper person and actually, instead of wasting time having an argument and trying to convince Mary that she was actually cheating when she said she wasn't, that she was having an intimate relationship with this person, and she said no, he was just my friend and he catfished me, and they somehow it turned into a lie, and that lie is important because this person was my friend, and it turned out that the person who was supposed to be my friend was actually a woman, and somehow that destroyed my life. That shit made no sense, and because it made no sense, people got stuck on the fact that the story you're telling doesn't make any fucking sense. The story you're telling doesn't make any sense. So now we have to delve through to try to get to the truth of what it is you're trying to say that you didn't do, which we all grown. We're adults. I'm not going to sit here. If some dude was contacting me and say, yo, bro, I know you love martial arts films, right? Or I know you like martial arts. I got front row tickets to see a tournament and blah, blah, blah. Do you want to go? Maybe you could guest judge or something. Oh man, that's awesome. And then I show up there to the event with my little gi on, like a little gi on. You know, I show up to the event, and then all of a sudden I get there and it's a woman. I'm not going, oh my gosh, I've been violated. That makes no sense. That makes zero sense. So the reason why people focus on Mary, and reason why Mary is getting bullied is because Mary is, I don't want to say she invited this shit, but I mean, you're open the door for it because you tried to hide it. But if you would have opened the door and said, you know what? This is the person who did the shit, and people actually took a moment to look at this person, you'll see that a lot of the stuff is actually ridiculous. The stuff that Jackie Overton is saying is ridiculous. Do I think that Mary did some shit? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, was she wrong? Yeah. She knows she was wrong. That's why she's trying to hide it. That's actually, and this is one of the things too, like, guys, look, if you go to court, there's, in basic criminal justice, like when you're in college, right? Criminal justice sociology, right? Even in the 101 level courses, the beginner first level courses, freshman courses, you learn that in order for a crime to occur, it requires two things, two elements: actus reus and mens reus. The evil act and the evil mind. You have to intend to do it. Now, we don't know what other people are thinking and what they're thinking about, right? One of the ways that we establish that evil mind is to see what people do. Like, if you want to find out, like, one of the big questions, like, there's always like this Hollywood fantasy that, you know, somebody knocks somebody off and they say, I was temporarily insane, right? They're like, and Hollywood made it sound like everybody got out of jail off of temporary insanity, when less than 1% of people actually, that defense is actually even considered, right? But one of the ways that they proved that you weren't crazy is you covering the shit up. Because if you're crazy, part of you being insane is the fact that you don't realize you did something wrong. But if you go through an elaborate cover up to hide or shield the responsibility and accountability of the thing that happened, then they take that as you acknowledging that you did something wrong, and you know you did something wrong because you hit it. It's kind of like if you catch your man or your woman and they hide in their phone. When you walk in a room, they talking on the phone, sniggling and giggling, kind of like Mary, giggling their ass off upstairs with Cody in the bed. You must be laughing loud as shit. My man's sleeping. Wake him up out of sleep. But you giggling your ass off, and as soon as they walk in a room, you go hang the phone up and put the phone away and put the phone on lock. Right? That's a guilty mind. Because even if nothing is actually going on and you guys haven't slept together, you just kind of doing mild flirting, the fact that you hid the phone lets me know that you think you did something wrong. And where Mary is kind of losing a ball is that she is so actively trying to hide this so she can hide behind it. You guys don't understand what's going on with my life, and my life is so complicated and difficult. What I do understand is that people cheat. What I do understand is that people step out of their marriages. What I do understand is that there are inappropriate conversations you could have with other people that could damage your relationships. I understand that. Right? And if you're hiding those relationships, then you're recognizing it too. So, from that respect, I think that the book is so ridiculous that it doesn't hurt Mary. I think what does hurt Mary, where she is upset about the book coming out, is the fact that because she was having an affair, I'm going to call it what it is. No, people disagree. But because she was having an affair with this dude, right? Not a physical affair, but she was having an emotional affair. Because she was having an emotional affair with this Sam Cooper person, right? And she was leaving messages, and she was sending pictures, and she was doing all these things and talking to him in a certain way. And Sam Cooper or Jackie Overton kept those messages, kept those pictures, and published said pictures and messages. She's embarrassed about that. She's embarrassed because she got caught. And she wants to hide her shame and looking bad. And by doing that, it prevents anybody from taking that next step and focusing on Jackie Overton. And that's where it starts and stops with her. That's why it comes off as bullying to Mary. Because Mary has to, like, I mean, whether you do or you don't, like, it doesn't, like, this is kind of one of the things. I'm gonna clean up my vernacular because of Mary's little video. Whether Mary takes responsibility for it or not, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. It's not my relationship, right? I genuinely don't care. But if we're talking about the idea of somebody who presented this polygamy as an alternative, viable lifestyle and said that they set the standards as the Brown family, and you're doing shit like this, then I have every right to comment on it and have an opinion on it. I have every right to have an opinion on it. Especially, I'm not driving to your house. Like I said before, I'm not driving to your house peeping through your windows. You invited the cameras into your life. You presented yourself as the standard bearer. You were debunked as the standard bearer. Now you got to deal with the consequences. You don't like dealing with the consequences? Too bad, so sad. That's how life works. That's how life works. So, but I appreciate it, though. I mean, I get what you're saying, Jody, because I felt the same way. Like, I didn't like it because I did feel like it was bullying. Like, you know what I mean? But the best defense is sometimes a good offense. You got to keep them on their heels. And Mary's just taking blows for no reason. Like, you're just taking blows for no reason. But let me give you a little something, Jody. I appreciate you. Thank you. And like I said, you know what I mean? I appreciate you. Call me out on it. If you think I'm wrong, if I'm overstepping bounds, say it. I don't give a shit. Like, say what you got to say, and we can talk about it. But that's the whole thing. Like, I'm not afraid to have the conversation or discussion or give my perspective on why I believe what I believe. Right? I'm not going to sit here and hide behind my platform and kick people out because they disagree with me and you're disrupting my peace. If I wanted peace, I wouldn't be on YouTube. I wouldn't be screaming my opinion into the void, which is only inviting people to give their opinions back. Okay, this is what accountability looks like. This is what accountability looks like. If you present your position, your opinion, you have a right to have your opinion. You have a right to voice your opinion, especially here in the States. First Amendment, the government can't come and lock you up because, well, technically, they're not supposed to. Come and lock your ass up because you have a different opinion, right? And no matter what you're talking about. Now, it can impact your work. It can impact your friendships. It can impact, because it doesn't. The First Amendment don't cover that. But you have a right to do it. But the same way you have a right to voice your opinion, I have a right to voice mine. I have a right to say what I want to say. And you have a right, because in the spirit of that precept, I make ample time for you guys to be able to call in and disagree with me or say what you think. But thank you so much, Jody. Hold on 1 second. Scam lightly blowing my ass up, boy. What Megan trying to say? That's Megan. We don't know we don't know the whole story. Enlighten us. Don't call people out for not knowing. Exactly. It's your responsibility. You presented the shit. Look, if I come out with a video and I'm like, if I come out with a video and part of it, for whatever reason, doesn't get uploaded to YouTube, right? And in my video, I say the OG3 deserved it. And that's all that comes out. OG3 deserved what? The way they were treated, to get ripped off, to be ignored, abandoned. What did they deserve? To be abused? James, what's wrong with you? Oh my gosh, you out of your mind. You crazy, James. I thought you was a different type of person. And all I come out with is that was a dirty edit. And by the way, y'all, I'm human. I don't ever take time to clear up what the hell I said or what the way it was taken. I don't take time to do that shit. Only thing I come out and say is it was a dirty edit. You didn't get the whole story, and I'm human. You have to forgive me now. You have to look past it. No, I don't. No, I don't. What are you talking about? This also goes to a point that I made. Thank you so much, Megan. Here goes another point that I was going to make when it comes to that kind of stuff. Oh, James, all of them have taken a turn saying that we don't know them. Cody said that we don't know him. Robin said we don't know him. Now, Mary has said it in the past. Mary and Jen have said it now in this last video. Christine has said it. All of them have said it. First point. Didn't Cody say the same thing about Jen? Didn't Cody say the same thing about David? Y'all don't know me. Y'all think y'all know me, but you don't know me. I've never had a conversation with none of you. You don't know what I think. So your opinions are invalid. I don't hear Jen shutting up. I don't hear Jen saying, you know what? I don't know Cody. I wasn't there. These guys got a history with each other. Your opinion of Cody comes directly from your opinion and your experiences with Mary and her perspective. Mary comes to you and tells you what's going on. I don't think Cody has ever, and this is no disrespect to Jen, but I don't see a world where Cody would ever sit down with Jen and bare his soul and his heart to Jen. Not because Jen is a bad person or whatever the case may be, but Jen doesn't rise to the level of importance to Cody. She just doesn't. So am I supposed to believe that you have no idea about Cody because you wasn't in a marriage with Cody? You didn't know they had been married for 24 years before you even met them, before you even started hanging out with Mary. And it was well after they were on a television show. You don't know what their life was like before. Cody said that he went through hell with Mary for 20 years. So am I supposed to just discard everything that Jen says? Discard everything that David says, even though David is in the house with his daughter, and deals with his kids all the time? I'm just supposed to disregard everything he said because he never personally met Cody or talked to Cody and didn't know Cody for any extended amount of time. And I don't see a world in which Cody would sit down and talk to David. Here's the second part of that little riddle me this. People always assume that when they say something to the effect of, you don't know me, you don't know what I be thinking, you don't know me, that's not accurate. That we always assume that we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Here's the other part of it. You're right. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know that you give a shit about your kids. I don't know you give a shit about the family. I have no evidence to support that. The only thing I can go off of is based off of what I saw on a TV show that you said is false. When we sit here and make assessments that Christine is all about the kids, that's based on a TV show. But according to you, the TV show is false. When we sit here and say that Janelle was decent with business and she's a logical person and people started liking Janelle and started favoring her because of the way she came off on the show, you said that shit is a lie. When Cody and Robin sit there and talk about how in love they are and how much they soulmates and how much they have in common and how much they have going on, I don't know them personally. I never sat and had a conversation with either of them. Is that a lie? See, when you start saying shit like that, it always comes down to be careful what you ask for, what you're stating, because you can get the other side of it too. Because you're asking for all of it. If I don't know you, then I don't know you. And if I don't know you, I know what an affair sounds like. And it sounds like you had an affair. And now we make excuses for that affair based on what we saw on the show. The mitigating circumstances that we have that gives you a pass on cheating on your husband and betraying your family is based on what we saw on the show that you said is poorly edited, a dirty edit, and it doesn't make any sense because it's not telling the whole story. Then should I assume that you're a shit person because you cheated on a husband who was actually caring for you and taking care of you and doing everything he needed to do, and it just looks bad because it was a bad edit and he has his own perspective? No, I mean, you can't have it both ways. So I'm just saying, be careful what you say. Be careful how you phrase shit because it sounds real clever when you say it, but then when you start looking at it, it's not as clever as you think. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I won't even say like somebody asked like okay, here we go. Miss Monica, the empty nester. So I'm tired of the catfish thing. Cody and Robin talk about how they tricked Mary into divorce and stole her money. You know what? I don't like the catfish thing. I didn't really want to talk about the catfish thing until they brought that shit back up. Like they're making it a conversation topic. And that's what also is crazy to me. Because there's another part of it too. Like I said in my last few live, there are so many things that Cody and Robin refuse to talk about that are cogent and relevant to this season that we're on. And instead, we can't talk about those things because it's verboten. It's illegal. It's unauthorized. It's out of bounds. Can't talk about them. But we could talk about something that's embarrassing to Mary that occurred literally almost 10 seasons ago. You know, like that shit is crazy. It's crazy. And I want to break, like, and part the only reason why I'm focusing on it so heavily on my end is because I want to break through the bullshit. If we're gonna talk about it, let's make the conversation uncomfortable for everybody. Let's call it what it is. Let's start calling balls and strikes. Let's not stop at was Mary cheating. Start and stop it. Was Mary cheating? She wasn't cheating because they weren't really married. She got divorced. She wasn't cheating because Cody wasn't coming around. She was cheating because they had a commitment. She was cheating because they had a spiritual marriage. She was cheating because she didn't leave for another what that happened in season 8. She didn't leave for another 10 seasons. Right? We start and stop there. But this season was the first time anybody ever even mentioned Kendra on air. Robin's friend Kendra. This is the first time that Mary came out and said something we've all been saying. You guys got it all confused. Said what we've all been saying. The likelihood that somebody could break into your house and set up cameras and surveillance equipment without your knowledge, unless that's their business or they have some kind of specialty training, that shit is not as easy as the movies make it look way easy. They make it look way easy breaking in somebody's house. That shit is hard. That's a skill set. Lock your shit. Lock your damn keys out your house. Where you going to be sitting on the step? And I say to you, okay, yeah, all you got to do is just break into your house and not leave no traces that you did it. It's your house. You should know where everything is. You should be able to break in your shit easy, right? You know how hard it is to break in a house? I mean, it's, you're one rock away from entry. But to break in somebody's house and they don't realize you broke in, you know how difficult that is? How insanely difficult that is? So it doesn't even pass the laugh test in the real world. So the fact that I'm sitting there like, it wouldn't even occur to me that, this person broke in and left messages or video cameras or record me. The only time somebody seems to get back to the catfish person is when I talk to this mother. Every time I say something to this person, somehow this mother on this other end knows all about this conversation. It's them. They the leak. They the one. I mean, we're going to blame that on that's just the way they was raised to believe in technology. You know what I mean? My man jumped in his transporter, his Star Trek style transporter, beamed himself into her house, planted all the shit around the damn house, replacing clocks and kitchen counters, putting dolls and shit up with cameras in it, and voice equipment, putting bugs in the wall. And you got to have a power source for the bug. You just can't put a battery pack bug in there because that's going to die. So you got to hardwire this shit into the house. So apparently, Cooper is like not only is he a master spy, but he's some kind of electrician too. I'm just saying. And to be honest with you, it's kind of what I was saying in season 19 when that shit went off. What did I say? I said, now that this show is over, the season is over, they didn't talk about shit. So the people who cover Sister Wives are going to have to go back and review like old ass episodes so they can keep the conversation going. I said that season 19. Check the record. Season 20, they didn't talk about shit in season 20. No new ideas. So what do they have to do? They have to go back to old popular notes and discuss those things. That's why the catfish is taking such precedence now, because they didn't talk about shit else. Cowdy Pass was pretty much done data. The only reason why Cowdy Pass even got a little bit of shine is because of the quote unquote door deal. You know what I mean? And I agree with that too. They bring up stuff from 10 years ago. Absolutely. because this is also part of the disrespect. And maybe that's the thing that's kind of annoying me too. You know, it's just it's the level of disrespect. Like we trying to play along and we trying to be nice, but it's wearing me a little thin that the level of disrespect towards the fan base. That's where I'm kind of like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. And here's my thing too. Somebody, like, I remember there was a point where somebody, I think it was Mary, had said, well, people don't like me because I'll be straight up, I'll be honest. Like I said, that shit always has annoyed me because the people who love to be straight up and honest and straightforward, they hate when other people are straight up and honest with them. You know what I mean? They hate when, if they can say whatever they want to say to you. Look, you people is crazy. You don't know what you talk about. You only see a little bit of my life. You need to worry about your own life. Don't worry about my life. I mean, duh. I'm like, whatever. That's crazy. Right? Okay, cool. Cool. And people stop watching the show. You know what I mean? And let's be honest. Like, you can sit there and talk shit about the fan base all you want. But for the fan base, and this is why I never understood, especially like I said, low level, wannabe celebrities. I never understood why you guys take such pride in debasing your fan base. When if it wasn't for the fan base, let's be honest. If we're gonna keep it all the way a buck, you guys would all still be in Lehigh. And somebody has said, well, you think they would still be together? I absolutely think they would still be together. You know why they would be together? Because they wouldn't have any financial options to leave. Robin wouldn't have came into the family. There's no way Robin would have came down here and got a full-time fucking job so she could live in the damn 3-sectioned out Lehigh house on top of Janelle or underneath Janelle with her kids so that she could start screwing Cody legit. She wouldn't have did it. She just would have banged him on the side like everybody else do. Oh, that's not their religion. Look, that's what would have happened if she would have gave Cody play. And there's a strong possibility she would have even gave him play. So would they still be together? Yeah, they absolutely would be together. You know what I mean? And they would still all be in the damn Lehigh house. But because you had this tremendous opportunity, and it wasn't the opportunity in and of itself, it was the people who supported that opportunity that gave you the opportunity to be able to move from Lehigh, go to Vegas, buy $500,000 houses, then move from Vegas, go to Arizona, buy $2 million houses. It's the people who did that. Your fans did that for you. And for you to get on anything and try to debase the people who supported you, I find that personally insulting. I'm insulted by it. So since we all going to tell the truth and you don't like it, I just give it to you raw dog on how it is. I'm giving it to you raw dog on how it is. Don't disrespect your fan base. They're the ones that put food in your mouth, put food on your table, put a roof over your head. Don't disrespect them. Because you could have started and stopped with don't threaten Janelle. None of this shit is important. The money and stuff isn't important to me. Don't threaten her because she doesn't deserve that shit. I get that. And I agree with it. Don't threaten people. Don't leave here and go threaten Janelle. Don't leave here and go threaten Mary or Jen. 100%. And I'm not just saying that because of them. I don't want them to get threatened. I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. I don't want them to feel scared or frightened. But I'm also saying that to the people who tune in to me. I don't want you to ruin your life. I don't want you to ruin your life trying to get justice for somebody else. You know what I mean? And that's what it comes down to. I don't want you to ruin your life. I don't want you to make, because and here's my other question. Are the police involved? Because if somebody is calling you and threatening you, depending on the jurisdiction, those are terroristic threats. That shit is a crime. You go to jail for terroristic threats. Calling people up, telling them you gonna whip their ass when you see them and shit. You go to jail for that. You go to prison for that. That's terroristic threats. You have a right to say what you want, but you don't have a right to put people in fear. There's also harassment laws, depending on what's going on, stalking laws. There's all kinds of shit you can do. You know what I mean? And Kathy Ryan was like, we said that back in 2019. This show ain't shit. So I look, like I said, when I watched the video, I mean, I didn't, I don't disagree with the fact that Janelle should not be threatened. But at the same time, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't ride with the whole, if you don't like how you're being presented, do something about it. If you're not going to do nothing about it, shut the fuck up about it. You know what I mean? I'm in that spot. If you're not going to do nothing about it, if you're not going to say nothing, don't sit there. That's the whole thing. There you go, right there. Let's wrap this shit up. Let's talk about it. If you're not going to say shit, stop saying how you won't be silenced no more. I will not be silenced. Well, okay. Then tell me all about this, how we got the shit wrong. Tell me all about what actually happened. I do not feel as though I should talk about it. I'm just saying. I know I'm gonna catch some heat. I know people gonna be mad. I don't know if I'm blocked from. I don't know if they block me or not. I don't even give a shit. I don't care. I don't even care. Because I'm gonna talk my shit. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even care. Block me if you want to block me. Because I have an unsafe environment. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. Do what you gotta do, boo-boo. But I will not be silenced. How about that? I will not be silenced. But I turn that off. Let's go. Let's get to these messages. I've been running my mouth for an hour. All right, let's get to these messages. Tanya Carter in the house. Miss Carter.
James, you are so right about this catfish thing. We got to break this story wide open because the surface level of, Mary, I had a right to know. No, there's more to it. Like, yeah, let's seal that open, seal that shut, and then open up the where did it come from? Because you're absolutely right. If Mary is reporting to her husband that someone scaled the fence to the cul-de-sac and came up in their house and set up cameras and everything, their children are in danger. And during COVID, Cody had a nerve to sit there and yell and talk about, I had to protect my children. I had to protect my children. I didn't know. Okay, so you were really, really hammed up about protecting your children from COVID, from a disease, from a virus. But there's a real physical threat coming into the cul-de-sac by way of a human being, and you're not concerned about protecting your children then? I call
That part.
bullshit. I call bullshit. All that tells me is that he knew. He knew it wasn't a threat because he knew it was a setup, and he knew that Robin and her best friend were catfishing Mary. And why are we not talking about that? Boom. You just opened up a can of worms, and we need to discuss it.
Talk about it, Tanya. Tanya took it to another level. Let's talk about it. Tanya took it to another level. That's why I like these speak pipes and hearing from you guys. Because like Tanya said, when it came time for Cody and him cutting his family off, why'd you cut off your kids? Gabe, Garrison, Isabel, Gwen, you know what I mean? You cut all them kids off. Truly, why'd you cut them off? Because I was protecting my children from an unseen killing that I could do nothing about. People could walk in. I'm telling you, I caught COVID. I think I caught COVID at least 2-3 times and shit. You know what I mean? And I was safe. Like, I was careful. And I caught that because it's unhidden, undetectable. And there's nothing COVID started attacking you. The only thing you could do is get sick. That's all you got, right? But somebody come to you, Mr. Second Amendment, selling parts and utilities and stuff, because you all about the hammers. You pull a Roscoe in a minute. That's why y'all, most of them sit there and talk about, I gotta have my Second Amendment to be able to protect my family. Somebody break up in my house, that'd be the last thing he ever did. You want your last known address to be my house, my front steps. You break up in there if you want to, right? All that crazy talk. Then your wife come to you and talk about, yeah, some crazo is scaling the wall because we live in a gated community. They're scaling the wall, breaking into the community, breaking into my house, setting up spy equipment, according to Mary. According to Mary. That's what Mary said in season 8 when she was talking about the catfish. I'm scared because this person said they would break in the house and they said they could touch me and told me, and they were telling me personal information. That's why I was pushing everybody away. That's what she said. Must be a dirty edit though, right? But that's what she said. And you tell Cody that, and this dude ain't there loading him up. You know what I mean? Putting pills in the old dispenser. You get what I'm saying? Like, you not doing that. Now, there's nothing you can do about COVID. You cut your whole family off of COVID. Some person breaking into your family's home, your home, you can make sure they at least, have a serious case of lead poisoning. Right? You can make sure they suffer from a serious case of lead poisoning. I don't know if he's going to make it, Doc Johnson. Right? And even if you make the argument, well, he didn't give a shit about Mary. Robin and his family is, out of his words, live right next door to Robin. And the person, Jackie Overton, is obsessed with Cody's ass. She's obsessed with Cody. So you think that this wackadoo won't hurt somebody who would hurt you? Yeah, he might not come after Robin. They might not come after Robin or Mary, but they'll go after Robin. They'll go after Robin's kids to hurt you. And you don't do shit about that. You calm and cool and collected about that. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm looking at his side eye, because this shit don't make sense. Now, I understand we don't know everything, all the ins and outs, but the parts we do know don't make sense. The story y'all telling don't make sense. That's why, and nine times out of 10, just to clear that up, when they talk about you guys as fans put shit together, you know why we putting stuff together, points here and points there, and we like get it all twisted around? You know why we have to put shit together? Because the story you're telling doesn't make sense. And what 9 times out of 10, content creators, fans, people on Reddit, people, audience members who to talk about this, all they're really trying to do is make the shit make sense. They're taking this illusory idea that you guys are presenting and saying, yeah, backdoor deal, you could sell land out from underneath a owner, a titled owner, and not get sued, not get your ass sued off because you own most of the property. You can own 95% of a property, but if you don't have that last 5% of the owner saying signing off on the contract, you still can't sell this shit. They can hold it up unless you go to court. You just can't make a deal. I just decided I would make the deal. And when they agree to the terms, I will let them have money. Do that shit if you want to. Judges love that shit. Go in there with a judge. They will eat your ass alive. They will eat your ass alive. Cody be sitting there like, well, I don't want nobody to be horrified, but when I get out of this chair, I'm not gonna have a butt because the judge is still chewing on it. Like this, like that judge will eat your ass alive in there. You do some shit. Oh, Mr. Sell all the okay. We're gonna give you your money back, and we're gonna throw a little punitive damage on top of it. That sale would totally not be worth it. But then we go to Tanya part 2.
Yeah, James, the other thing I started thinking about too, these poor children, they literally, CPS should have been called because these mothers, I blame them just as much as Cody, running behind Cody's tail all day long and neglecting their children. Any mother that doesn't put their child first, and I mean behind a man, behind a job, behind anything. And they did all of that. They put those kids behind trying to get after Cody, behind trying to be on TLC and make that cash. And none of that cash went to those kids. None of them had health insurance. A lot of them had health issues and needed things done for them, and it wasn't done. They weren't providing food for them the way that they should have. They weren't protecting them. If you think about the whole catfish situation, imagine how Leon must have felt. They knew that their mom was scared that somebody broke into the house and bugged it and all of this. Imagine how they must have felt, the fear, the real genuine fear that they must have felt for them, for their mother, for themselves, for their brothers and sisters, because I think they were at college at that time, that they must have felt for, no, she was there, for their brothers and sisters and their siblings, and just watching their parents, all five of them, stand around and do nothing, as usual, per usual, put them in danger and not do a damn thing about it. TLC needs to be taken off the air.
We're gonna go right to 3.
TLC needs to be taken off the air for this kind of thing. Like, it's one thing for adults to sign on to a show and, like 90 Day Fiance, Michael and that crazy lady, I don't remember what her name
Angela.
was, being abusive and all this kind of thing, to the point where he files VAWA and now is a citizen. But children don't have a choice. A lot of these children on TLC have been put in very, very compromising positions, and it has been nationalized, and nobody has done anything. Like, if you think about Little People, Big World, their youngest little boy was SA'd by one of the TLC staff. God knows what happened on the cul-de-sac with 13, 18, how many children will run around there unsupervised, because those moms weren't watching those kids all the time. They were too busy looking out their window trying to figure out where Cody was coming and going and where he was going with Robin. So God knows what happened to some of those children on that set. And that just pisses me off, and there's still no retribution for them. He's still walking around unapologetic. So, and their mothers are still not holding him accountable. He's a good man. How that must hurt them. Stab them in the heart every time they say that. He's a good man, knowing what they went through. Not knowing what they went through.
I don't disagree with Tanya. And here's the thing, like, there's always I always kind of used to run into people who would say things like, oh, they want their their kids or whatever, they're talented or they're funny, or, they would make great, personalities on TV. And, I would talk to some folks about, like, how to do things or break in or whatever, just from my limited experience. And one of the things that I always maintained, even before I started doing anything, is that when it comes to your kids and Hollywood, if you take a look around, take a step back, and I mean genuine Hollywood. I'm not even talking about reality show Hollywood, which is like all brand celebrity, all brand Hollywood. Okay, when you're doing like actual projects, multi-million-dollar projects, you have to watch your kids. You have to watch your kids. You always got to keep up with what they doing, who they doing it with, who they going out with, this, that, and other, because there is a part of, the underbelly. And I'm not saying this is on every set or every producer or person like that. Not at all. There's some awesome people who love their craft and have spent a lot of time dedicated to improving their craft. But you do have people who, when they see these kids, they turn them into little adults. Like, I remember I was working in Center City at the time at the gym. I was going to not at the gym. I wasn't working at the gym, but I was at the gym before work. And I remember distinctly hearing about Lindsay Lohan getting in trouble because she got put out of a bar. Like, she apparently got fired up too much, and she got put out of a bar. And at the time, she was underage. Like, I don't even think she was 18. I think she was like closer to 16, 17 years old or whatever. And it occurred to me. It was like, it's not just the fact that she got fired up and she got put out, but it's the fact that they let her in the first place, because everybody around her is treating her like an adult. And it doesn't just stop at substances or alcohol or whatever. It continues on to how they treat them, how they negotiate with them, how they talk to them, how they address, intimacy and things of that nature. They treat them like, they're little adults. And so you have to be mindful of it. I say all that to say this. If you are on a reality show where you spend most of your time chasing after your husband and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses and trying to pay attention, like Tanya was saying, like you always looking out the window to find out where your husband is or whose house he's going to or what time he's leaving. You always have to recognize, especially on reality shows, these people who are virtually strangers will have access to your children. And one of the things that, what do we tell kids when they little? Stranger danger, stranger danger. One of the things that makes so many predators so dangerous is the fact that in most cases, they have some type of tie or affiliation to the children. They're not strangers. They're people who they're familiar with. They're people who are invited into their lives, sometimes by the parents, with the parents' permission. So I think that is a very good point. Like you just got, I'm not saying that something happened to the Browns kids. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm just saying you got to watch. You got to watch and be very careful. And yeah, it is. I think it is harmful that, because part of the complication Leon had with Mary and some of the stuff that she shared on camera was that she had warned Mary that the catfish person, that indeed she was being catfished. This person didn't exist. And she was hurt by that. She was hurt by the betrayal that, she felt, because Mary may have felt like she was not in a relationship with Cody or ready to leave Cody. But clearly her child didn't feel that same way. And that, sometimes that's the case. You can file divorce papers and the kid's like, you guys are going to work it out. But she had been warned, and then for it to be like, it get to the scary part where all of a sudden, according to Mary, she's being threatened and the woman breaking in the house and all this crazy stuff is going on, and just to answer Tanya's question, Leon was home for the summer. Like, from according to the catfish person, Mary and Leon were in a relationship from March to, I think, October. It was 6 months. So from March to October, I think it was, or August maybe. And that would have covered Leon's spring or summer break. So she might have been home for the summer, listening to her mom cackle and giggle. So, and then like you said, like you're worried about it, because how do you go to school knowing that you have little ones, like siblings, and none of them know what's going on? So, and how much did they really know? That's kind of the thing too. Because this family don't strike me as like great secret keepers. So if Robin and Cody knew that Mary was stepping out, it's hard for me to believe that Christine and Janelle didn't know too. So something to think about. Maybe that's what Mary don't want to talk about either. But next up we got Jasmine.
Hey, James. In your last call-in show, you brought up Method Man. I think me and Carmel Kitties would like for you to have a whole episode about Method Man. Thank you.
What would you like to know? Very, like I said, he's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy. He's very, like, it's not even so much nice as it is respectful. Like, he's respectful and he's appreciative of the people who supported him and the people who bought his records and the people who backed him throughout his career. So he sees it as a privilege to stand there and talk to people. You know what I heard is like that? Denzel Washington. Like, after there's Anthony Mackie had said that he would when he was on Broadway, he would go down and see the late great James Earl Jones at his show. After Mackey's show would end, he would go catch the tail end of James Earl Jones' show. Then he would sneak over to Denzel Washington, who was also performing on Broadway, and catch the tail end of his show. I think he was doing Julius Caesar at the time, playing Brutus. And at the end of each show, he would come out of the stage door, and there'd be a group of people there waiting, for Denzel Washington to come out. And he would sign all those autographs. No matter how long it took, he would stand there and sign autographs and take pictures for all those playbills. And he said, Anthony Mackie asked him, and this is according to Anthony Mackie, he said, those not familiar, it's, the Falcon from the Marvel movies, you probably know him from there. He's been on a bunch of stuff. He's consistently worked. But he said, I asked him, why do you sign all these things? He said, because I was a garbage man. And if I have to stand out here and sign some playbills so I don't have to pick up garbage no more, that's what I'm going to do. But it goes beyond that because it's a sign of respect for the people who take time out of their day. I remember I used to do, when I was doing a lot of stand-up, I would go out and after shows, I would stand in the back. You had the people who were there selling their merch and stuff. I would stand in the back by the door and I would thank each person who came to the show for coming to the show, because I recognize that they don't have to come and spend their money and time with me. There's no requirement for that. That's a blessing and a gift that I get to stand on stage, give my opinion, crack some jokes, make some people laugh, and then people come out and they're appreciative of the good time that they had. I haven't had any bad experiences doing that, but I'm appreciative of the fact that they came out and they were willing to, like, if you're willing to sit out there and listen to me tell jokes, hell yeah. Stand in the back and shake your hand. If you want me to take pictures of you and your family or your we get a lot of comedy shows, you get a lot of of the made of bridal showers, the maid of honor, the bachelorette parties. So yeah, you stand back there and you take the pictures and stuff. But I did that well before like the story about Denzel and Anthony Mackie, because that was a sign of my appreciation for them. And I think that they embody that same thing. They just do it on a bigger scale because clearly they're way more famous than me. Yeah, way more successful at it than I am. But I appreciated that about him because, in a business that you are told that you're important, there's a part of it where people always talk about like the Hollywood elites and elites from Hollywood. The truth of the matter is many of the people who come from Hollywood don't come from wealthy backgrounds. They're not rich people who just decided to start acting as a thing to do on the side. These are people who come from middle to lower class families, and they understand what it takes to to make $1 and put food on the table. And they understand that when people are choosing to spend their time and money with you, that it's a choice. You know what I mean? People are saying, I'm going to give you something because I appreciate you. I'm going to give you something because, what you do or whatever the case may be. I'm going to spend some time with you. That you could be anywhere in the world, but you choose to spend some time with me. And I appreciate that shit. And I think that they have that same thing. So, again, I can't say that I can't say enough positive things about my experiences with Method Man. He's a really good guy. And we spent a good amount of time together. So it's not even like I only saw him for a day. But after, no matter what time we got there in the morning or how late we stayed, he always made time to go down and talk to people. And at the time when we were filming that project, he was doing that project, plus he was doing a record, like he was putting an album together. So he was doing that like as part of it too. Not part of the project, but like as a separate thing. So he had a lot going on, and by all means, he could have sat upstairs in the dressing rooms and kept to himself, but he chose not to do that. And so for that, like I said, I'll always have respect for him. And treated me well. I can't say he treated me bad. He treated me good too. So, but Darlene Hall said, remember for 5 months? What? Method Man METHOD. Method Man of the Wu-Tang Clan. Yes, that's who we're talking about. Yes. But yeah. But so we have Alexandra next.
Hey James, it's Alexandra calling. I don't know if you've pointed this out before, maybe you have and I've missed it, but I was thinking regarding the house sales in Vegas. So Cody seems to treat it like he's entitled to 50% of each of those houses. So if you put all of those totals all together in percentage wise, so he gets 50 from Mary, 50, like if you look at that from 100% perspective, he ends up with 50% because he's getting half from each of them. And each of the wives get 12.5% of that pot for those 4 houses. If you look at it that way, he's making off like a bandit. So let's say all those houses together sold for $2 million. He's getting $1 million out of that. And then that $1 million that's left over, each of the wives gets $250,000. So, I mean, the math always works in his favor if you're taking 50% out of each house. Anyways, I hope that makes sense, but it boggles me that their math and how they divide their assets just always will favor him.
Yeah, that's by the design though. That's not a flaw of the system. That's a feature, Because the crazy part is, and that's why when I did my little framework for how I think they would have to legalize polygamy in order to make it fair, I took that kind of thing into account, like because to say that you have 50% of each one of your wives' assets would, in and of itself, signify that you're putting in 50% of your share of those at each person's assets. So in other words, if they bought those houses for $500,000, to use Alexandra's example, they bought those houses for $500 each, and Cody contributed 50% of those proceeds to purchase those homes. That would also mean that Cody would put in $1 million worth of money up front, which he did not. So I think that it's tremendously untenable for you to say that you somehow deserve, because you slide your name on a piece of paper, that you are entitled to half of assets simply because you have some loose association with the person. And that is also why I said that in the framework I came up with, everybody would have to be tied to everybody else to justify that type of ascension. And I'll also add this part of it too, is that it's easy to talk about 50-50 and how Cody deserves 50% and this, that, and other. But here's the thing. As we saw with Janelle, when she lost her rental property and she didn't have a place to stay, nobody said, Janelle, 50-50. Cody, you got to spend 50% of the time at Janelle's house. He just said, no, I'm not going to spend my time there because it's not comfortable. And he went and stayed with Robin. If you want to claim 50%, you got to get 50% of when I win, and you got to take 50% when I lose. You have to have some skin in the game when I lose too. You can't just take the wins, right? You got to get 50% when I'm up, 50% when I'm down. If we in it together. And I think that's the part that is missing, because he's only worried about, because you get 50% of the house, but then you don't want to do 50% of the debt. So when Christine takes out insurance for Isabel, you're not kicking up 50% of that medical bill. You're leaving that all on Christine to work it out. Oh, I can't do it because I got other family members. No, but you want 50% of my house. And my house money, my mortgage money is coming out of the same pot as my money towards paying for medical bills, food, clothes, board, room and board, all that kind of stuff, shelter. That's all coming out of that same pot. You don't want to share in those bills. You just want to share in the profit. And that's El Stupido. So I 100% agree. But good analysis, Alexandra. Let's go to Rose.
Hi, James and community. This is Rose from up north. I know how much everybody wants Mary to tell everybody to excuse the bilingual language, but fuck off and go away. I'm sure she'd love to do that, but I think she's like me. She just wants everybody to get along. And the reason she wants everybody to get along is because there's kids involved here. She wants access to the kids. Now, if she started cutting down the mothers and Robin, well, the kids wouldn't talk to her. So she's wanting to leave that door open. That is my guess. And I agree. Mary has the right to, especially the women, to tell them to go to hell because we know what Janelle has done to her. And we also know Christine was not nice. She'd go over there very upset, and Christine would say, I don't want you here if you're going to act that way. So, she has a reason to not like them. We don't know what they all did to her. So that is my guess. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Hold on a second. There was a question that came up. Did Leon meet Lindsay at Disneyland? Yeah. But she met her as Jackie Overton. No, she did meet her as Lindsay. Because Lindsay was supposed to be the best friend. Yeah. So it's not Jackie O. She met her as Lindsay. But it was Mary, Lindsay, and Leon at Disneyland. Correction. But to Rose's point, loyal to the family, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just better. Like, we don't know. We don't know her. We don't know her life. We don't know nothing. Maybe Mary's a lunatic who just wanted to cling on to his family like a crazy person when Cody was trying to reasonably get rid of her. I mean, the whole thing is she very well may have, she was there from the beginning of the family. One could make the argument, if we're putting pieces together, one could make the argument that because she was there from the beginning of the family and she was committed to it, wanted to see the whole thing through and feeling like she was, one of the founding members, a part of that original trope, and she wanted to, be a part of it, that she stuck around and she hung in there. And, the other ladies betrayed her. I mean, if we're going to keep it all the way a buck, I think everybody treated everybody like shit in this thing. I don't think there are any real, well, I think that there are people who treated folks worse than other folks. But at the same time, I think everybody kind of had their time when they were mistreating people. So, yeah. So why I didn't know. Yeah, there's pictures of it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, right, Mary, the shit's already out. I don't know how you don't want to talk about it, but clear it up. I'm going to just sit here and ignore it because clearly it's going to go away. Clearly it's not going away. And clearly it's not going anywhere. And as long as the truth of the matter is, at this point, because it's gone unanswered for so long, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Boo Boo, not only is it not going anywhere, but now that it's back, I genuinely think that this shit is stronger. I think it's stronger than it was even when it first happened. So imagine if the church would have forced Cody to give those ladies their money back. And then Cody would be broke. And Robin be singing Kanye songs. I ain't saying I'm a gold digger, but I ain't messing with no broke. Because Cody be broke. No, I ain't be broke like Jeep China. Getting stamped on by bulls. Yeah. No. And besides, I don't think the church would do that just because, again, that's what they do. You know how many members they would lose if they supported that? You know what I mean? Because Cody, as bad as it is, here's the scary part. There's a real possibility Cody ain't even the worst one. As bad as he is, like Cody probably ain't even the worst one.
Hi, James. It's Rose again, part two. Yeah, I think Mary wants to keep the door open for the kids. There's only like 3 kids, I think, as far as to my knowledge, that she doesn't talk to. Maybe 4 with Truly, if Christine doesn't let her contact Mary. So I think that's why she wants to keep that door open. Also, when it comes to Mary's catfish, to me, it's a scam. I had not 1, not 2, but 3 romance scams. And I fell for every one of them. They know exactly what to say. And I was very lonely at the time, so I fell for it. And in Mary's case, it was even worse because Robin was feeding information. So she, Sam knew exactly what to say to Mary. So by the time it got bad, she was really deep into it and she didn't know what to say or who to talk to because the wives don't like her. So who is she going to go to? That's just my thought. That's it for now. Bye.
No, I mean, do I think there's a strong potential that Robin was involved with it? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It'd be crazy for me to say that she wasn't. At the same time, the only way it really works, and this is the part where Mary's going to struggle with, she has to admit that it was a romantic relationship because it only works if it's a romance scam. It doesn't work if it's a friend scam. I want to be your friend. Okay, friend. I'm watching you, friend. Stop calling me friend. Because if it was just an innocent friendship, then Mary could have went to the family at any time and said, this person is contacting me. It's unwanted. They've latched on. I feel like I'm being stalked. And there would have been like the silence comes in because of the way she's perceived as doing something wrong. I got to make that video. I got to do that video too. But let's go to Rose 3.
Hi, James. It's Rose again. Part 3. Sorry. This will be the last one, I promise. Yeah, I forgot to mention Robin's kids. I don't think Mary talks to Robin's kids, but I think she has the door open just in case they want to contact her. That is my guess. She loves Solomon, so she wants contact when he's older, probably. Also, I have a question. When Truly was so sick, why didn't Christine call one of the other mothers to go down and check on the baby? Also, if Christine, why did Christine leave when the baby was so dehydrated and so sick? I don't understand that too. So I think there's some guilt to be put on Christine because if baby was that dehydrated, that must have been going on for a while. And so I was just wondering that why weren't Mary or Janelle contacted? Because Mary would have been there in a heartbeat. Just my thought. Bye.
In fairness, she couldn't call Mary or one of the other wives to go over or go down because this was the time when Christine, Mary, Janelle, and Robin went to, I think it was San Diego. They went to California. And while they were away, I think when she left, Truly was a little under the weather. while they were away, Aspen was calling her mom, Christine, saying it truly isn't feeling well. I went over, tried to get dad. He's refusing to come and check on the baby, but she's not doing well. That's not a Christine problem. That's not a Christine's problem. Because at the end of the day, technically, I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck. Because, like I said, here, I'm no fear, no favor. That's not an Aspen problem. And in fact, I have a big problem. I have a big issue with the fact that Aspen was left to deal with that. Because she went over to Robin's house where he was doing laundry to say, your daughter is sick. There's something seriously wrong with her. I need you to come and check on your daughter. Cody said, my laundry, the things that I'm doing for Robin in her house are more important than me going over and checking on my daughter. And not only not important enough for me to check on my daughter, truly, but not important enough for me to take this off of you. Because we forget, because the way things worked out, things turned out okay. To this day, because I said this at the time when I reviewed this particular episode. To this day, that scene where they were all standing in a circle, Truly was in the hospital, and they were talking about Truly might not make it. The way Aspen broke down, it touched me because the way she cried was the way my daughter cries. Right? You try to be strong, and I got this, ain't no problem. And then all of a sudden, she just can't handle it no more, and she break down. So it put me in mind of that. And because things worked out the way they did, they looked past a lot of what happened. But the truth of the matter is, what if in an alternate universe somewhere in the multiverse, there's a world where Truly passed, knock on wood. And Aspen would have been left to deal with that. Do you understand the guilt that would have been put on that girl, that young lady? If her sister passed under her watch, regardless of the fact that her father's a deadbeat dumbass who didn't get up off his lazy ass and walk across the street to make sure she was okay, after being told that she wasn't doing well, knowing that she wasn't feeling well, that's a Cody thing. And this is part of what I was saying. Like, we got to be careful. Like, I understand that people want to support this one or that one, but let's not look past like what actually happened. If you did something wrong, we call it down balls and strikes, regardless of who we like, fear or favor. Because when we don't do that, we're not doing anybody any favors. I'm not coming down on rails. I'm just saying, like, we just don't do anybody any favors. Like, if I like somebody, then when I like somebody, I want to try to do the best I can to defend them the most honest way possible. I will take apart a story and use the story to defend them. When I first heard part of the reason why I heard the voicemail messages from Mary is because I was taking off of what Mary was saying. This is all bullshit. This ain't real. The relationship wasn't raw. We wasn't catfish. I wasn't in a romantic relationship with them. This is just some bull crap that this person's trying to push off on me. It's not raw. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So what did I do? I said, okay. Mary said this shit ain't real. Catfish, you got some recordings. I'm going to listen to that bullshit. And then when I listened to the recording, I was like, But because I like Mary, I'm not going to sit here and say, or if I did like Mary, I'm not going to say I like or dislike anybody anymore. But if I did have favor one person, I'm not going to sit there and be like, okay, I'm just going to ignore the mountain of evidence that shows that she's not being honest. Like same. I don't think we can ignore the fact that it truly is just as much Cody's responsibility as it is Christine's. Truly is just as much Cody's responsibility as she is Christine's. Which means if Truly is not doing well, it's not just on Christine to make sure that baby is okay. I don't give a shit how many wives my man got. If your child isn't doing well, all your kids don't need you at the same time. The baby who's sitting there suffering with dehydration to the point where she has kidney failure, you're right, that is serious. That's deadly serious. That's deadly serious, you know? And so we just got to be careful about it. Because at the end of the day, like you're not making sure that she's okay. And let's be very clear. You know, you can survive weeks, if not a month or so, without food. You can only survive a couple days without water. And if she's not drinking, and she was already ill when the wives left, and she left, there's no reason why Christine, oh, she never should have got on a plane if her daughter has a cold or she's coming down with pneumonia. Why her dad is there? She ain't the only person who could go to the store to get aspirin or take her to the doctor if necessary. The dad is there. Dads are just as good at parents as mothers are. People gonna give me some pushback on that, but it is what it is. Dads can take care of their kids just as well as mothers can. And if you sit there and say no, 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 they can't, then you're part of the problem. Because at the end of the day, you're giving excuses for men not to be able to be involved with their kids and taking that responsibility and being held accountable when they aren't doing what they should be doing for their kids. Cody could do everything that Christine could do when it came to taking care of Truly. He had the legal rights and obligations to do the same shit. So if she wasn't feeling well, I'd be like, you know what? The baby's not doing good. She running a fever. It's been kind of crazy. It's been 2 days now. This fever ain't breaking. Let me just run her to the hospital or to the doctor to make sure she's okay. He could have did that. But he waited till the mom came home. So you wait a week for her to come home. She ain't been drinking shit. And then you surprised that she ain't doing well. Just saying. Like, let's you know, we got to look at all of them. Look at all of them. Like whether Mary would have went over there or not, I don't know. I don't know if Mary would have went over there. I would like to think that any of the adults would have went over there. But clearly that's not the case because Cody didn't go over there. And when he didn't go over there, name one wife who was so committed to these children that she left because Cody didn't go over there. All of them knew Cody was over there at Robin's house doing shit. Let's put it where the ghost could get it. All of them knew that Cody was over there at Robin's house doing some shit and ignoring that little girl when she was, when her older sister was coming back begging him to go over there and take care of her, and he ignored her. All of them knew that shit happened. Name one of them who is so dedicated to the kids who decided that they was going to pack a bag and get the fuck out because Cody wasn't taking care of his kids. I'll wait. Next up, we got Lorena.
Okay. Hey, James. I know it's late. I apologize. Speaking of apologize, I happened to see a reel about Robin's apology, or lack thereof. And I just don't know why she feels like she doesn't need to apologize, because to me, she has more apologies to give than anybody. And it seems like her whole life is just lying and being rewarded, and it just continues. In this story, the villains are just thriving as much as the OG3, if not more, especially Robin, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know why she doesn't feel like she needs to apologize. She definitely has a lot to apologize for. And once again, no accountability. And it's just going to continue, I guess. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's all I have. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, you're never going to hear an apology out of Robinson. Never. Because she'd have to acknowledge that she did something wrong. And I'm going to get beat up for doing something wrong. Here's the crazy part. If Robin and Cody, give some of the game away. If Robin and Cody ever came out and actually acknowledged some of the shit that they did to people, it would actually go a lot further than their dumbass denials. What did you say, James? If they ever came out and say, you know what, we were wrong for X, Y, Z, We were assholes for doing that. We were wrong for that. We were so focused on our relationship that maybe I was ignoring my other relationships. I wasn't doing the right thing by them. And I understand why they left, because they had to go pursue their happiness. That shit would actually go further than him sitting there giggling and cackling because he sees Mary out on a date and trying to pretend like she's happy, or sitting there pretending like he's happy that Christine was getting married when he was pissed off. Like, I saw a clip today where Christina said, as you may have noticed, they were all sitting on the back porch when she, knife on the kid, that whole little scenario. And Christina revealed, as you noticed, I have a sale on my house, a sign on my house up for sale. As it turns out, we are under contract, about to sell a house. And Janelle said, yay, good job, because I was so worried that you wouldn't be able to sell a house. And Coach sitting there like, what the hell is Janelle there cheering about? She about to sell my property out from underneath me. This is ridiculous, right? That whole bullshit. But then I'm supposed to be, oh, Cody is so happy that Christine got married. So full of shit. If it came out and he just admitted what he did wrong, it would actually go much further. It would go further than the apology, bullshit ass apology tour. But he's not going to. He's not going to. But, you know what I mean? And I'm just saying. That's just crazy talk to me. What's this? Wendy said, James, not this father. They know better than to trust him with the one child. 18 kids and never changed a diaper. That's a stupido. And I get it. In their culture, that's not a thing. Whatever. Whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever. Because at the end of the day, you know who didn't leave their child with Cody's ass? Unironically enough, Robin. Robin took Solomon with her. She took Solomon. She's like, oh, who gonna watch him? Cody? Carefree, careless ass Cody. No, not today. That should have been Christine's first note. I can trust because I can see Christine all a bubbly, all a bubble. Oh, he's gonna watch my child. Oh, Robin is taking her child. She's taking Solomon. Oh, that just means more FaceTime for Truly. Oh, yes. Cody's gonna be laser focused on my child, because Robin is removing her baby, and that baby was consumes, as noted by the anthropologist. Oh, but we don't know everything because we don't see everything. The anthropologist noted, who had lived in your houses, that Solomon got an unbalanced amount of time compared to the other kids, including Truly. So there's that. And Christine thought that she was going to be winning, leaving her daughter with Cody, because it was going to force him to watch her. And all he did was push that child off on his oldest child, or one of his oldest children, Aspen. But her first clue should have been when Robin packed her child up. Christine be like, you know what? This mug don't even like me or my kids. So let me go ahead and get my children together. Ain't no way in the world I'm leaving my babies with this fool. If he ain't gonna watch the ones he don't like, you know what I mean? If he ain't gonna watch the ones he do like, there's no way he's gonna watch the ones he don't. You took a chance, boo-boo. Susan Q said, I thought Robin was still breastfeeding Solomon on that trip. Probably be breastfeeding them kids till they 17. We got fucking what was that child, Ariella? She walking around with a pacifier like 9. She going in like 5th grade with a pacifier in her mouth. Like, Robin ain't, that breastfeeding stuff. No, I don't think that was a reason. She just wasn't leaving. Robin just wasn't leaving Solomon with Cody. Full stop. She didn't trust him. I don't think she trusted him. Okay, like, coming to the stage, get your graduation, your diploma. Come in at the driving test. Mom, I'm gonna need some milk. Okay, you come sit on my lap and we give you some breakfast milk. Who got the best milk? Mama Robin. Like, you gotta, Look, I don't know. Look, my kids were fed, uh, were nursed that way. One said as soon as they start popping teeth, them kids got to go. He start popping teeth because they not even like them good, like level teeth. You got the rat ass teeth, them sharp mothers. Ain't gonna be sitting there eating me alive. Hell no. Robin's a warrior. Them kids have like a whole row of teeth in their head. Shit, she was still popping them in there. As soon as the first two come out, up, you done graduated the formula. Congratulations. They gonna be eating me alive. That 1, 2 be working the shit out your ass. That 1, 2 be working. Hitting you from all angles, just to, tear your whole shit up. Is that a baby or a vampire? Because you got a little blood on it. No, I'm good. I love Soka. Sam, my son got teeth at 4 months. Wow. Guess who was running to bottles? That's what it's over. It's time to go. Like, the party's over. Like, it's done, boy. We done. We finished. We finished, so we done. You start popping teeth. Nope. Yeah, it's just, But I think, like, I don't know if it was because of the breastfeeding or she just wasn't leaving. Because even if you are breastfeeding, the truth of the matter is, and like I said, I have experience with this. Even when it comes to like getting up, because ladies, well, the young ladies, here's a little cheat code for you. You get a little cheat code. All right. If you are breastfeeding your kids, now that's, experts say that's the best, source of food for them is that natural, that natural, au naturel, right? If you want to get your ass up every time that baby stir in the middle of the night, don't pump. Don't pump. Just, just latch them on to you. Every time that baby stir or move, baby. If you want your partner to participate, including the late night feedings, the late night changes, you go get yourself a breast pump and you pump. You keep that milk flowing. It only takes a little bit for you to take and put that, pump it, put it in the freezer, freeze them bad boys up, them little bottle baggies. You can get the big ones, you get the small ones, baby hungry, mealtime, break one of them big ones out. Baby just wake up in the middle of the night, got a little twinge on him or her, get one of them little boys, little babies. Pop that boy out, put it in some boiling water, you good to go. It only take a couple minutes. And get your husband involved, get your man involved, get your partner involved. So you're not the only one getting up. You're not the only one responsible. So you can do other shit other than sitting there with a baby on your couch all the time. Now, I'm not saying that you don't necessarily want to avoid it. Like, I know for my wife, she enjoyed like that baby time. She enjoyed that. But at the same time, I also wanted to get time with the baby. So it wasn't just like she did it to punish me. I insisted on it. You know what I mean? I want you to pump. I want you to get them bottles together. I was the first one to go in there and be counting bottles here. We get a little low on bottles because I want time too. I want to be able to hold the baby, feed the baby. I want my bond time. But this is a good way for you to get your partner involved with that shit. Don't take that shit on yourself, because that's how you wind up in a situation like these folks When you sitting there, you know, your kids like 18 kids never changed a diaper. Don't know what a diaper look like. Got grandbabies and shit popping out now. Can't even go over there because you don't know how to change a diaper. You want to watch Little Hammerhead and Crap Pants? Nope, can't do that because they drink too much milk. That shit shoot up their back. And I never changed the diaper. That's crazy to me. You know? That's just, you know, that's my two. That's my two. But I'm just saying, like, I yeah, like, so when you know they breastfeeding, that's all good. If I got a week's worth of food there, food if necessary, mixed food formula if I have to, in a pinch, then that's what we need to do. But no, like, you spend time with you know, you're not gonna deny me. I'm gonna get my time in too. Shit. Why you get all the fun? You get all the special years and shit. When the baby just looking at you like, they looking all cute no matter what they do. So cutie, you little cutie pants. You know, they gripping your finger and shit, holding it all tight. That's cute. Well, I gotta only deal with them when they talking back or asking for money and car keys. Now all of a sudden I get activated. Nope. I want all the parts, all the good parts, the bad parts, all of it. So yeah, absolutely. Get them involved though. Get them involved. Lorena too.
Hey, James. Okay, so this is my part 2 to my unlabeled part 1 message. So I wanted to clarify something real quick in my last message when I said that Robin has more apologies to give than anybody. I realized that how that could be one-sided. So I know that Cody has as much, or if not more, apologies to give too. So I just wanted to clarify that. I was just really focusing on Robin and her apology and just the audacity that she felt like she didn't have an apology to give, which is complete bullshit. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. All right. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. And I understood you the first time, Lorena. Like, I think that like in fairness, again, I think that all of them potentially could have a reason to apologize because they all kind of treated each other jacked up in their own individual ways. But if we look at like overall catastrophic damage, Robin, I don't know. You the leader, you on the leaderboard between Robin and Cody. Y'all on the leaderboard. At least as presented on the show. Maybe there was, you know, the other lady was doing some real nasty, wicked shit behind the scenes. I don't know. But I mean, damn, son. And then what kills me with Robin is just the fact, oh, you know, things you don't see. What kills me with her is she always tries to express it as I was trying to help. You know what I mean? Like she helps like a them old WB cartoons, like the Roadrunner and the Coyote or the cat and Tweety Bird, Sylvester the cat and Tweety Bird, like that kind of help, like Bugs Bunny when he be messing with people and be like, yeah, I'm on your side. And he do a whole bunch of stuff like put this in your pants, and all of a sudden it's like sticks of dynamite and stuff, blow the guy up, and he's helping. Like that's the kind of help Robin get. I feel like that's the kind of help she get. Like the kind of help that don't help anybody, you know. I was trying to help. So when Christine told me things, I went back and told those things to Cody. And then Cody would, for some reason, get it all twisted up, go back and cuss out Christine. But that's not my fault because I was trying to help. Like, that's where this shit don't make sense. You know what I mean? That's what you need to apologize for. Because you're not a good helper. Like, no matter how much you say you're trying to help, there's a point, too, where even if your intentions were to help, and you recognize that your help was doing more harm than good, then you should apologize for the help that you gave. I tried to help. I was wrong. I messed things up. I apologize. And again, that will go a lot further than what they traditionally do. But next up, we got Sharon.
Good evening, James. Sharon here. Just had a thought, and I would love to hear your take on it. So many people think that reality shows end or families break up because they're on reality shows. I would just about say the opposite's true for the Browns. I don't know that they would have lasted as long because they were faking it for the cameras or trying to make it last for the cameras kind of thing and stuff that make the show last longer so they got more money. But then again, on the other side, I also don't think if they were doing the show and going to get into that money kind of thing, that Robin would have joined the family. What's your take, James?
Yeah, that's my take. Yeah. I think had it not been for the show, I think they would still be in Lehigh trying to figure it out. Because the struggle makes for strange bedfellows. You know, the struggle makes for strange bedfellows. When you can't get your head above water and it looks like you don't have no options, you don't start trying to figure out how you could leave a situation so you could be in a worse situation. If Christine, like, I know she had talked about leaving, but the truth of the matter is, what's the follow through? Because she had 6 kids that she had to take care of, you know? And if you leave the family, you leave Cody, you doing 6 kids by yourself. That's a lot. That's a lot, especially when you're not getting a TLC check. That's also part of the reason why I say, as much as we all celebrate the OG3 for leaving a toxic relationship and this, that, and other, at the end of the day, I give them credit, I give them props, but I also recognize that there are people who are in far more complex, difficult situations and have a far different and far more compelling reason to stay in a bad situation, but they choose to leave, which is a harder choice because of their own happiness, because of their own safety, or whatever the case may be. We can sit here all day and talk about like DV and things of that nature and why people stick around and why people hang out and all that. But sometimes the reason why people stick around so long is because they the for them to leave, it would cause such a catastrophic change for them that they don't know if it's tolerable. And so people will stay in situations like that far longer than they would if they had options like owning a home, like having access to a paycheck, which would give you 6 figures annually. You know, like it's, more money, more problems, but poor people got problems too. Like the problems are a little different. So with the OG3, did the show where they had broke up earlier, if they could get themselves around it. One, I don't think Robin would have paid them any mind. So I don't think Robin would have been an issue. And if Robin not come into the family and Robin not been an issue, I think they could have convinced themselves that they could, keep this family together out of necessity longer than would have been viable. I think that it might actually kept them together too. Like I think that the fact that they wouldn't have been on the show, they wouldn't have had the pressures of outside influence. They would have remained in Lehigh, so they would have had social and cultural pressure to keep the family together and for them to stay together. Then you also would have had the maybe the denial of familial support because they aren't famous. They don't get that outside support. So there's a possibility they might have stayed together. Would have been miserable. I don't think it would have been like happy. I don't think they would have been walking around skipping and shit, holding hands and whistling. But I think they might have stayed. It might have kept the family together as a glue because of the struggle. Yeah, and I agree with that too. No one said. None said still an AUB. Yeah, they would still be an AUB. Like a lot of their breaks and a lot of their separation was caused by the show. I think. But I mean, that's a good point though. Like I have to think about it. Maybe I'll crack open my gentleman Jack. Try to sit by the fireplace and pontificate. That's the dream, Sit in my big Barker lounge and think of philosophy. Because I have nothing left to do. That would be awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Because I think it could have went either way. Like, because I think they would have been frustrated where Christine or Even Janelle might have walked out at some point. Yeah. But just like Janelle might have found their asses right back. So uh this is in my take on reality, James, you're a good father and husband too. So you don't ignore your kids and your wife, you love them and pay attention. Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's the only thing you can pay is attention. The shit be tight. I think it's just priorities. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you for that. Yeah, I just think it's priorities. You know, and again, just being thankful. Like I appreciate what I have. You know, uh, I appreciate the opportunity. So I don't think that it's you know, I think it's a culmination of things. Like when you have a relationship that works out, like, James, what do you do to make a relationship work out? You could have everything going for you, making all the right choices. But if you have picked the wrong partner, if you pick the wrong time, pick the wrong circumstances, things change, like whether it's your economy or your economics or, the loss of a family member could ruin a good relationship. So it's just a matter of just being involved with, being involved with and appreciative of the things that you have. And then, I found a long time ago that instead of complaining about all the shit I don't have, I just appreciate the stuff I do have. Like I don't have $1 million. I have to figure out how to pay my bills. Shit, I still got to do my taxes. And stroke out some checks. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, if I sat and complained about, thought about, and focused on all the stuff I needed or wanted to do and all that, it's just too much. I'd rather focus on the stuff that I do have. Like you pay attention to like you take care of your business, but don't let that be the start and stop of everything that you have going on. Carl Q said, and my take on reality. Let's ask Mama my take to make sure. Just flat, I believe James is an awesome individual overall. No way he would be a cootie as a parent or husband. That's a good point. So I'm amazing. I'm awesome. Wife pick up the phone, be like, "This dude is terrible. He's on my nerves all the time. I want to choke him in his sleep." I wake up every morning and check his breath. Oh. Like he talking shit, but he's an asshole. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Well, I'll say if my wife disagreed, that you guys would hear about it. She's not a shy person. She's not shy. And she will not be silenced. But she got enough petty in her that she'd be like, "Oh no. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna let you get away with saying that bullshit online and make people think that you okay." Nope. Got just enough petty. It's just a pinch of petty makes the whole dish perfect. I can appreciate it. I respect the game, though. I respect it. You know what I mean? I respect it. Next up, we got Linda.
Good morning, James. I just had a thought. I think we should really stick together and do the deep dive on the catfish. Because, we have good internet sleuths in our community and those who know even better internet sleuths. Because I was thinking about Mary's interview with Jen and the backpedaling. I'm wondering, so I have a couple of thoughts. One is maybe she's been asked to backpedal because they're trying to do season 22 or they are still filming season 21 and trying to get our interest back, probably with a apology tour of the kids, which at this point I could really give a shit. Because at the end of the day, these mofos came with the premise, show us an alternate lifestyle. Those of us that are nosy or want to learn about other cultures or how other people live religions, we went there with earnestly to look at it. And unfortunately, we got attached to them. We got attached to the kids, and then their whole mask and their facade fell. And if they are the best that polygamy and the AUB had to offer, the worst must be insane, must be people that belong in jail or on death row. So I'm of the mindset, yeah, let's do our digging, and let's do our digging without prejudice. In other words, favor no one.
No, yeah, I agree with that 100%. 100%. Because it's just, I think that when we start remove the fear of favor and we really start looking at it, I think that it's, it's one of those deals where if we were really, really looking at it, yeah, there might be points of what some may consider to be a point of embarrassment. But then at the same time, through that embarrassment, it clears your name. I think that it would clear you. It's not because so much is focused, and I think that that's part of the reason why it kind of drives me, because I'm not a big fan of the catfish stuff, because I don't like. There's a lot of elements that I don't like about it. But I think one of the big things with it is that we're gonna let's wrestle this beast down and rip his teeth out. You understand what I mean? Like let's talk about it, because the way the catfish has been kind of exploited so far is that like I said, it goes right up to the point where it just crushes Mary, and then they stop talking about it. But they don't make sense of how this person became so pervasive in Mary's life, how this person was excused. When Mary says that she received validation from this one person, Kendra, and Kendra acknowledges that the validation came from her in an interview, and then Mary had never even met the catfish, but she had heard through Kendra that the catfish was real. And according to Kendra, the catfish threatened her. That's why she validated that she was real, and she did some backpedaling and shit during the course of that interview. Then let's talk about that. And it might be embarrassing from the beginning, but I mean, to be honest with you, again, this is that I feel like this is that Christine moment where she was saying that she wanted to leave the family, but she was scared to do it because she was afraid the fans would turn on her. But it's like, no, the fans ain't going to turn on you. The fans will celebrate you if you actually leave and protect yourself. And I feel like it's the same thing with Mary. The fans are not going to turn on you because most of the fans, especially the ones who support you already, all have already stated that they understand why you did what you did because of the mitigating circumstances that Cody put you in, the environment that Cody put you in. So let's take it beyond that. So there's no embarrassment for you to be participating in this. It is what it is. But if they're going to keep hitting you with that shit, let's turn it around. Let's pull them into the pool too. You ever see that, like down at the little watering hole or at the pool? Like somebody come running up and try to push somebody into the pool. You know what you do? You reach out, grab their asses too. If I'm going in, we going in. And that'll be the last time you get pushed into the pool. if Mary did what we were saying from the beginning, and she said, okay, you want to talk about it? Let's talk about all of it. I guarantee you, Robin and Cody would not bring this shit up. They would sit there and be doing that whole verboten bullshit when it came to the catfish stuff. You start pulling facts in, you start telling the whole story. They don't want to talk about the end of it, with their involvement in it. That's a conversation they're not ready to have. Cody will sit there in a heartbeat. This conversation is verboten. We'll never speak of this again. Because you're going to make me and Robin look like shit. So, yeah, let's talk about all of it. If we all going to be dirty, let's all be dirty together. And people say, well, that's you picking on Mary. No, that's me. That's actually me defending Mary. And this is the weird part about it. Like, even going back to the first thing I opened with. That's the weird part about it. In a weird way, I feel like I'm defending Mary in a way that she's unwilling to defend herself. Because Boo Boo, whether you want to talk about it or not, it's the conversation now. That's just the way it works. It's the conversation now. So just saying. But we have a last caller, Candace.
Hey, James, it's Candace. I'm not sure if you're doing the speak pipes this week, but
Yes, we
I
are.
felt compelled and I had to. Listening to your Tuesday call-in show talking about Mary's, interview with Jen and her defending Janelle and all that stuff and talking about, worry about your little lives, you people. And I didn't like it. It's not a good look, Mary. And I just had to speak a little on that. I just feel this is my message to Mary, if Mary's listening, because these people come on your show. I know they're listening. But Mary, I just want to say to you, it's not nice to bite the hand that feeds you, girl. You are basically being condescending and patronizing to your fan base, the people that pay your bills. So, I know you did well in your LuLaRoe and your pyramid scam with that, selling those moldy, ugly leggings. But this is where your bread and butter is, okay? So don't be condescending to your people that have supported you. All right? And it's fucked up that you defend Janelle, who backstabbed you. She did backstab you. She has not given a damn about you, lady. So if people want to come for Janelle, nobody's threatening.
Mm. Well, I think she's saying that if people want to come for Janelle, as long as nobody's threatening, and that's what I was saying from the beginning. Like, if you put I know I have some people who like what I say and support the channel, but there are people who don't. And I understand that. Like, it is what it is. Like, can't make everybody happy. It's just the way life works. I will say that, like I said, I give the opportunity. If people disagree with me, you have every opportunity to come up and say what you guys say. Speak your piece. Say it with your whole chest. But there's a difference between people not liking me or disagreeing with me or maybe not supporting the way I do things or the things I say versus somebody saying, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to do some shit to you. Or I'm going to catch your kids out in the street and I'm going to teach you a lesson. That's a whole different other thing. And we talk about two distinctly different things. And if somebody is threatening Janelle based off of what they see on TV, that's a problem. If somebody is saying that they don't like Janelle's character anymore, they believed her, they didn't they liked her at one point, and now they don't based off of what happened on the show, they're entitled to their opinions. They're entitled to it. You can't make people, like I said, people aren't going to like you. The weird part about it is just growing up in the real world, you recognize that there are people, if you walk around and you look sad, there's going to be people who don't like you because you always look sad and pitiful. If you walk around and you got a big old smile on your face, there's going to be people who don't like you because your ass always look happy, like you don't have no problems, or you look fake. If you walk around and you have nice clothes on, people are going to say you conceited. If you walk around and you dress down, people are going to say that you're a bum. You know what I mean? There's always a reason. You're too fat. Oh, you're fat. People don't like you because you're lazy. You work out and you got a fantastic body and figure. People ain't going to like you because you're conceited and you must spend a lot of time on yourself because you're only worried about yourself. There's a million reasons why people don't like you. Some of them valid, some of them not. So if it's that part, then you might not be built for this. And I've said that before. Like, you might not be built for reality TV because that's what it is. That's what reality TV is. But if people are threatening you, call the damn cops. Call the police. And I would even encourage people, like, don't jeopardize your life. Don't jeopardize your family. situation behind a bunch of strangers. These people are not worth going to jail for. Are you losing your job because, in the age of the internet, let's keep it all the way above. In the age of the internet, people lose jobs and shit because of stuff they post online. You sending people messages and you mess around, lose your job and your ability to put food on your kids' table because you worried about what's going on with Robin and Cody and Mary and Janelle. Bump them. You know what I mean? Worry about you. I'll just say that part. But if you guys are you put your business out there in the street, don't be mad if people comment on your business. Because like I said, ain't nobody drive up and spy your living room and start spreading your business around the street. You spread your business around the street. And again, if you don't like how it's being spread, you have too many. Like, this is not 1980. This is not the 90s or early 2000s. There are too many outlets, too many ways for you to get on social media, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and for you to express or explain what it is you want people to know about your situation. There's too many outlets. If you don't do it, you're either not doing it because you're lazy or you're not doing it because you don't want to, you don't think it's important. In which case, you got to eat it. If you don't take the time to explain it or to give reasons or whatever the case may be, then you just got to eat it. Like, I get it. But again, that's also why I say I'm not on reality TV. I've had opportunities to do reality TV. I will not do reality TV. No, thank you. Because there's nope. Because like I said, I get it. You can make some good money doing it if you get hooked up in the right project. But are you willing to give up your family? Are you willing to sacrifice your friends for a hope that you might be on a show like Sister Wives, Real Housewives of wherever? Those are outliers. Most reality shows only last about 4 or 5 seasons, if that. So are you willing to risk your family for 4 or 5 seasons of a good paycheck? Are you willing to risk your family, lose your family behind 20 seasons and $1 million? For me, it's not worth it. You guys have to make your own choices. We have a super chat from Unlimited Lipstick. Just keep pulling lipstick out from everywhere. Just where does it keep coming from? I don't know. It's unlimited. With the $6.99 super chat said, Robin claims she doesn't discuss the other wives with Cody, but also claims she only tells him what the OGs say to help. Yeah, right. Lying and conceding at the same time. Yeah, right. I would never tell her. They tell me something in confidence. That's between us. I would never tell. That's ridiculous. And I'm insulted by the fact that you would even bring that up. I mean, the one time I did tell, Christina begged me not to tell. And I said, Cody deserves to know. Because I can help, I don't ever tell unless I'm helping. I had her freaking back. You know why? Because it's easy to plunge the knife in there from that point. You know what I mean? From that perspective. That's why you get behind them. I got you. I'm behind you 100%, girl. It's easier to stab you in the back from there. It's less convenient. Barely an inconvenience. Yeah, look. I would never do reality TV. I say that because you know what I mean. And that's just the thing too, is that like what because Mary had said something, I kind of took a little. I was like, I don't know, man, because she said like nobody has to be the villain. And I actually had a video saying that they're trying to switch all villains and why villains are important for reality TV. Just good storytelling. And the whole thing is that when I hear people say that, especially on reality TV, the Brown family might have an illusion that when we first started this show, There were no villains. We were just telling our story, and we became a very popular show. And I would say, if that's your position, you are wrong. I'm not even going to equivocate by saying that's your perspective. You're wrong because there were villains in the first iteration of the show. The first iteration of the show, the target villains were the OG3 because you guys were standing in the way of true love. You had made an agreement that you were going to allow your husband to go out and marry somebody. Then, when your husband went and did it, you guys all had adverse events and adverse reactions to him doing the thing that you guys all agreed that he could do. You were set up to be the villains in the first iteration. It turns out, because of the target audience, the people that the show was targeted to, they felt more aligned with the OG3 than they did with Robin. And so, therefore, Robin and Cody became the villains in that instance. You could hide it and conceal it because you did receive so much acclaim and popularity, and people were inviting you on shows. It might have seemed like everybody was being accepted. That was not the case. There was also another antagonist in the first iteration of the series, and that was society. So it was man versus society. You guys were going against the social norms, you were going against the legal system because you were doing something which stepped outside of the bounds of normal fare. That was the villain. That was the overall villain. So the big in the first 3-4 seasons, the 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 boss was the villain boss was Robin and Cody. The final boss was the system or society. As you move through, eventually Robin and Cody became the final bosses. And the society aspect, because of the fact that you guys were public for so long, diminished. And it's untenable for you to keep trying to sell that. So Robin and Cody were the villains for that long. So now that Robin and Cody are trying to move out of the villain stage, and you guys are trying to help them by saying that they're good people and everybody misunderstood them and they're actually awesome folks. If you get people to recalibrate, which is what has to happen when they recalibrate, they will find and designate a new bad guy for your series. And like it or not, like if we're going to talk about accountability, that's the one thing that I will say that we have to take into account. Marrying the accountability game. You're the one that brought up the backdoor deal, and you had the adverse reaction to the backdoor deal. That line that shit right up for Janelle to get catch the heat, right? So now you sitting there saying that I don't understand why y'all mad, because most of the people who are mad are people who are defending you. So make that shit make sense. I'm just saying, you know. And if we're gonna keep it on, and I like to have a complete thought on this. If we're gonna talk about the villain stuff, here's the thing. And I hope the sister wives do watch this, and TLC interns or whoever at TLC watches this. In my opinion, you are never going to switch Cody and Robin out of the villainous stage. It's not going to happen. They've been there too long. Too much water under the bridge. People would have to get mind wiped and forget everything that happened. The only thing that's going to happen moving forward is what happened in season 20, which is you're going to, instead of you moving Robin and Cody out of the villain stage, they'll remain in the villain stage, and you're just going to move the OG3 into the villain stages too. That's the only thing that's going to happen. That's the only thing that's going to happen. You're just going to make these other women villains in the show. They're going to be bad guys. Yeah, that's another thing, right? Like, also, it was Mary who brought up Janelle marrying her brother. You can't have it always, Mary. Yeah. Like you, I can't believe y'all mad at her for the stuff I said. It made a point of like we knew for years that she did that shit. Something that we widely discussed and made excuses for why you acted, why Mary acted the way she was, and why she might have been a little standoffish to the wives, and why she might have had attitude. Well, creators and fans alike have said that shit for years. And because she says it in season 20, now all of a sudden we crazy and we putting shit together. I can't believe you guys are acting this way. And this is an interesting point. Katie said, I think we need to accept that all the adults have been villains from day one. That's a possibility. You know what I mean? It's uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable truth. But, we keep it all the way above. Arguments can be made. But I'm going to let you guys go. We've been on this for 2.5 hours. I know I jibber-jabbered for the first hour. Talking my shit, but I have fun with you guys. Yeah, but like I said, I appreciate the fact that Mary came out and is trying to defend Janelle. And if she's being threatened, she should not be threatened. I don't think that's appropriate. If anything, I might just disagree with some of the way she talked about it. But yeah, that didn't help. Shoveling food down the drain. What the hell? Yeah. Right. The crazy part about that, just real quick, the crazy part about Janelle shoving food down the drain, the one thing I don't understand is that it will be trifling as hell still and jacked up still if you went over to Mary's house and was jamming food down her drain. And then after you finish, you like, all right, F you, bitch. And you went back to your house. I don't understand why you would do that to your drain. Like, why are you stomping your... I don't understand why you would do it to yourself. I like cockroaches. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is your house too. Like, you live here too. Like, why would you do that? It's kind of like there was a thing, keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. If you are on a plane with your mortal enemy, and the plane go down, right? And you guys are stranded on the island. The last thing you do is let that mug run off into the woods by itself. No. Because then he come back, he can poison your food, he can, be messing with you while you're sleeping, take your stuff away, steal your stuff. No, steal your equipment. No. You want that dude right there with you. So whatever he eat, you eat. Whatever you drink, he drink. Right? If you gonna hurt me, you gonna hurt yourself. We are tied together. And so if you're in that situation, why would you be stuffing food down your drain? I'm finna back your whole thing up. And I hope it blow up. I hope this whole trailer be full of toilet water. This is where you sleep. I'm just saying. Carmel Hughes is $2 super chat. Said, when are we gonna start the rewatch of Big Love? Yeah, I gotta get on that. I gotta get my HBO back. When I get HBO back, I let HBO go for a little bit. I had to get HBO back. Where's this? Let me give my Carmel Kids or something. So I know that trailer used to smell funky at night. Yeah, right. The food in the damn dispenser. That joint was jacked up. Like, what is that smell? It's like rotten food. People come in like, I'm gonna sit out front. I'm gonna wait for you. Man, it's like 10 degrees. I know I'd rather lose a toe than sit in there with this shit. Like, what are you doing with your life? What are you talking about? Thank you, Carmel Kitties. telling you. Oh yes, you can use my sign, and James Law's mama. My take is okay with it. Well, the problem was I didn't just get rid of. If we go full disclosure, I didn't just get rid of HBO. My brother, whom I love very dearly, had shared his info. And so we were just, he come by, we would watch HBO. You know how it is. Nothing illegal here. And HBO tightened that shit up. They tightened it up, boy. They said, hey, you are not the original user. This is a different place. So I was like, oh, that's that. The party's over. Oh, shit. Love Soga said, now we know how Janelle gets bugs in her bathroom corner. Yeah, right. Might be whizzing the walls. See what had happened was, LOL. See what had happened was, my checking and my savings are different. That's how my bank work. That's yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah, but Big Love was I think Big Love was kind of important just because it's the framework they use to try to create the Sister Wives show. Like they try to echo from that popularity of that show and the acceptance that show received. So Cody and them tried to frame themselves after those characters. But I mean, it's Bill Paxton. Come on, player. And the actress is actually really good too. Like I've seen them in other stuff as well. I cut my cable back to the bones. If you have Verizon, you can get HBO and Netflix for $15. Okay. Yeah, I don't even have cable. Yeah, streaming. Most of my stuff is streaming now. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah, it's like the shit's just so expensive anymore. And half the time, like part of the reason I gotta let you guys go, but part of the reason why I disagree with some of the cable stations is that they'll have movies and programs like you might watch, like you'll have HBO, and on HBO you maybe have one or two series that you actually watch, or 1-2 movies that come out drop every couple months that you actually watch, but then you have like 3 or 4 other services that have the same thing, so you're spending like that little $10 or $15 that you spend each month for each one of those services. That shit starts adding up for maybe 10 amount to you being able to watch maybe 6 shows. You understand what I mean? Like this shit is crazy. It's such a monster anymore. Say, James, do you buy CDs anymore? I don't know even know where you would get a CD from anymore. To be honest with you, I prefer CDs. Well, yeah, I would prefer a CD. Like a lot of the stuff that I had, just turned up missing. People get me for my stuff, but borrow it, don't bring it back. But I like the CDs because with CDs you have it. Like the electronic stuff, you just get so used to everything being downloaded on your computer. But if there's a licensing dispute on Apple, say you have Apple, like Apple iTunes, and there's a licensing dispute, you could lose music based off of that dispute. Even though you paid for the album and it should be in your stored in your joint, you could lose that music because they don't have license to play it. It's just, I don't know. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Before we go, let me give huge shout outs to folks who donated for the super chats. We had Caramel Cuties, Unlimited Lipstick, Darlene Hall in the house, their contribution, and Jody Periscala. Thank you so much. Let's give a shout out also to the Mega Mod Squad, Lizzie B, Brittany Not Brittany, and Caramel Cuties in the house, holding it down for us. Appreciate you, as well as everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, listening to a brother rant and rave and go crazy. So let me give you a little something, something. All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Make sure you take care of yourselves. If you want, or remember, we have this Saturday morning roundtables that we'll be dropping this Saturday at noon. Come on up, come on down, and we can open a panel up to have a discussion. All right. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate you. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality. And I'm
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side. Keys to